Alright. Hi, howdy, hello. Of course, immediately it doesn't work. What a great start to everything. Why does it randomly just not work? Who the heck knows? Let's see if I can fix that really quick. Oop. Remove that. No, not rename that. Remove that. Yes. Just gotta do it anew because it just resets sometimes. I don't know why. Hi, howdy, hello. History is doomed to repeat itself, it seems, as here we are again, doing a short bonus stream on a Monday, after on a Sunday I went for too long and still didn't finish the game. That is a big JRPG by Atlas. What the fuck? How the heck did this happen? I really thought I had it this time. I was like, oh, I'm gonna avoid what happened last time with Persona and give myself a lot of time, an extra week, like 3 days and all that. And then here we are. I'm gonna turn on the volume a bit higher for this. But hey, good news, you can have me at full energy for the final bits, talking about the game and voicing all the stuff. So there you go. Look at the positive sides. I have to. This is probably also where you can set up like new games plus shenanigans. Hey, look, we're not even the king archetype, we're the prince archetype. How dare they not give me a unique thing at the very end that wouldn't matter at all. I'm so sad that Gallica never gets to use her fairy equipment. Why can't she poke them with a tiny sword? Come on. Oh, this list shows that, huh? Except for more. I guess Gallicas we've done. He's truly something. Maybe I could see how he's doing. Wait, do we see his... We see his new fit. You can see all their new fit. The cute hat. Look at the cute hat he has. I mean, look at him. He's like little metal thingamajigs on his collar now. Because why not? I don't know. Smug ass motherfucker. And look at her big hat. I love big hats. Big witch hat. Always good. Okay. She just has a new robe down there. Okay. Basilio's just looking a bit fancier. He's got a freaking buttoned up shirt. Right? He's not walking around bare chested with an open, well, half open shirt. He's buttoned up. Has some extra layers. Nuras? Nuras is the same. Okay, the other ones will probably all be the same. Oh. Or that guy, I guess he's King House doing alright. Okay, so they're all the same looking. But nothing for Maria. I guess she is the end. She's the final one. So, checks out. We'll talk to everybody in town. Fuck it, right? We've got the time now. There's a mug I haven't forgotten. You're the king now, ain't ya? The first time I saw you was the night before the royal funeral, if I recall. No offense, but he didn't exactly look like a prince. To think you'd gone to take down the notorious Louis and seize the crown for yourself. I couldn't make up such a story if I tried. Speaking of wild stories, can you do something about Sunshade Row? What's bothering you? Oh, you know the old rep Sunshade Row has. Poor, dirty, but people still struggling to put food on the table here. Happened for a long time. You're a good bloke, and I think you'll make a fine king, but I don't think you can just spruce the place up a bit and then it'll solve the problem. He doesn't mince words, but I'm glad he's being honest. Alright, let's talk about. Yada yada does it. When you finish your business outside the palace, please promise me you'll return to resume your duties, Your Majesty. If you take this as my pressuring you not to venture out, that's not it at all. Only that as captain of the Royal Guard, I must know your whereabouts at all times. Wow, the formality. Sounding awfully formal there, Alkenberg. Well, that is, think of your station. How else would the knights captain address the land's king? To be overfamiliar would set a poor example. Imagine the scandalized faces of the rank-and-file guard. That said, not a day goes by that I don't reflect on our travels. Now, only a year past. I owe regaining my pride as a knight to that journey. I was but a wanderer, searching in vain for the prince, and it was through you that I learned he yet lived. And in the end, it was your ascent to the throne I supported. I never tire of the faces the younger guards make when I tell them of the time you acted as witness to my duel. Brings back memories. Not only of my duel of Rodante, but of the journey we undertook. You were the reason I could endure the fight to the end. I'm pleased to say the knights of today are nothing like what they were under Rodante's command. Soldiers take up their sword not for those in power, but for the people. And as the champion of the people yourself, we will do all in our power to protect you, our king. You do not make it easy by sneaking out of the palace as you do. I suspect the soldiers are getting used to your chaotic tendencies. They know they protect not just the king, but a ruler who stands beside us people and hears their voices in clarion truth. I will protect you with my life, as I have always endeavored to do, Your Majesty. Only let me stay by your side to do so. Oh, is that the Parapus boy that's friends with Maria? At least it's the same model. Huh? The king? No way! But we still sword surf. I feel like they should know that the king loves sword surfing. It's been quite some time, hasn't it? Ever since the new king's reign, matters have changed a great deal for the tribe's teachings. I feel like there's been more people who wish to learn of our teachings and culture, much like you once did before. I wish I could say we are free to worship as we pleased, but that's a dream still among the clouds for a moment. And yet, being able to dream it as evidence itself of progress. It is satisfying for now that more people are open-minded like you. You lived in a... Oh, it's the guy! You lived in a giant sandworm to research bugs? Quite right. And gold beetles from all over the kingdom as well. Insects are vital to understanding the essence of magic. And I thought their only use was disgusting martyr in cuisine. What a find. Say, what would you say to lending your wisdom to my shop? Being in business in the open now, thanks to the king. I'm gratified by the offer. Another supports my research. The magic shop used to only operate in secret at night, but since it's no longer condemned by the church, they can now do business during the day too. Oh, nice. Oh god, I can't teleport, huh? Oh, I specifically teleport to all the people? No. But it shows me all the people. And I probably have to go through all these people first before doing this, huh? Well, no. Oh, are they all in the main city? They might all be here. And they might all be hanging around here. So are we gonna get rid of that soon? Like, pretty ugly looking still. Lately the gallows are getting hardly any use, so they are still getting some use? The corpses and the people crouching next to them along Century Row have cleared out lately. A frightful thing, really. They seem terrified of something themselves, so I'd be anxious just to look at them. I hope they're feeling like themselves again. It'd be nice to think they found their happiness somewhere out there. Oh, yep. Alonso's chilling here. He did, like, chill here before, like, at the very start of the game. We did see him. He showed us the way to the Honeybee Inn. Why, hello, Your Majesty. It's only been a year since your coronation, but I see you've become quite apt at sneaking away from your palatial duties. And a constant fire from knaves of all trades, con artists, and critics alike. Your opening act has been rather tumultuous, no? It's been tough going. But I'm glad we managed so far. Quite right. Your critics are loud and open with their barbs, but plenty more have put their faith in you. Besides, most of those agitators are the kind of scum that stirs the pot in hopes they might benefit from the country's turmoil. Nothing I couldn't handle, of course. All in a day's work for the Royal Adjutant to the Citizens' Council. Quite an ally I've made, I hope. No. I wonder if my mother would be the slightest bit proud to see who I've become. That I'm doing my damnedest to use my talents for good, as I always should have. I'm proud to see it. I'm proud to be working hard alongside you. And that's right. Supporting you is the best thing I can do. You're the one who's been able to create such a lasting change in our country. That reminds me. Do you remember Dataram, my hometown's landowner? He told me to send you his regards. He's since confessed to his crimes and is awaiting trial. You were the one who awakened his conscience. It makes sense, doesn't it? You've proven your ideals to be true. That's why the country is doing so well. There's nothing more to it. I'm hardly qualified to speak of pride, but if this country has one, it's you. I'm proud to be among its people. Perhaps under your rule, the day will come that even we Nadia can walk about freely in our true forms. You're curious what I look like in my true form? I'd be happy to oblige, but let's save that for another time, shall we? No, I want to see Chibi Alonso. You would be so cute. Oh, hey, Celio and Hezume.
Yo.
Unexpected again? Seems right pain to me, but I appreciate you going to all the effort. All's well, I take it? He's nicely suited up. How fare's the city? I wish I had something to report, but I don't. Guess that's what happens when you make a guy like me captain of the Tradian Brigade. Tradian Brigade? Bit of a mouthful, isn't it? Still on to use to call myself a captain, besides. We've even taken in some survivors from Louisa's troops, you know? But don't you worry, I've got 2 eyes on them, even when they ain't looking. The way I see it, they weren't the ones trying to make the world worse. I just gotta show them how power's supposed to be used, yeah? We owe it to you that there's less discrimination in the city these days. Fewer and fewer turn into a life of crime to make ends meet. If Del could see Grant Trad today, his eyes would bug out. Not just Del, a lot of the guys who didn't make it. Inca. I wish they could have seen it. Same. But as long as we keep him in our memories, it's as closest to saving as we can get, Mika included. We built this place with a lot of blood and tears. So I say those of us who made it this far owe it to all of them what all of them didn't do to protect it. Maybe I've got nothing to report today, but it's not like bad people just stop being bad because you're king now. You've been through a lot though. So thanks for not giving up on us, or the world for that matter. You spot any trouble that I didn't spot first, you just point me at it. I'll solve it quick like.
Well?
Well, I see our king is out on some personal business, eh? I believe Hulkenberg was searching for you, but I suppose it's none of my business who comes or goes. I'm on break myself. Only, try not to frustrate your royal guards over much, They all take their duties quite seriously, much like their captain. Who am I kidding? A knight who smiles is surely a myth. That's become clear to me since becoming titled. What could be more bizarre? A huge outcast, once a wanted criminal with a bounty on his head, made knight commander. There was of course some opposition at first, but the more heart-to-heart talks I've had, the more accepting they've become, albeit gradually. Times are changing. Indeed, grand titles and posts across the nation are held by all manner of tribes now, each contributing with their respective strength. I've realized over the past year how much a nation is defined by its people. No matter how great a king, he alone does not a country make. Yet he stands for those very people as symbol and representative. That the king and those around him of mixed tribes, it has already caused a great shift in sentiment, even for those in the rural villages. How's Tarari? He seems as busy as he can handle, now that they've resumed trade with other villages. Your coronation inspired that village to greater heights. It proved that barriers can be broken, and that even they could take the first step. New winds are blowing in every corner of this country. I'll have to make another trip back home with my son to see the changes for myself soon enough. And someday, I hope distant generations will grow up only knowing conflict born of tribal differences from history books. We've a ways to go before that day comes, but until it does, let us forge the path towards it, Your Majesty. Your Majesty, what do you do with those wretched sinkhole? It may be better than it was before, but this is still Sunshade Row. No place for a king, Your Majesty. Few folks are hanging around for nothing these days, but there's still no shortage of knaves who'll die at the end of a rope here. As long as there's injustice, there'll be people who think it gives them a free pass, which means there will be gallows. Unless you change a lot, big and small, I'll hold my post here, hoping that next year is better rather than worse. Neither Louis nor Forden took the crown. I was an elder of all people. Guess our bets are completely off the mark. Yeah, well, something stinks about it. Magic wasn't at work, so who knows? And did you hear the rumors? They're saying those disgusting humans are our ancestors. Nothing but crazy stories since the new king took the throne. The king held it together this year, but who knows if he'll last another. Fair assessments. Wow, Elda, you really became king. King, hey king. Oh, king. Oh, okay. She's good. Oh, yeah, it's some other candidates. At least that one guy, Julian. You might be king, but nothing will change. You'll forget about me. You'll forget I was even here. I won't. You actually spoke to me for once. I still believe you, though. I've been watching you for a while, for a long time here in the corner of the city. I hate people who look. See a pair of us like me with no place to go and pretend they see nothing. Don't forget that. Well, your majesty, surely your kingliness has no further need of my paltry sums for your mag. Besides, I hear the Mage Academy's been restored. Is it true anyone of any status can attend? Original magic. You're trying to end reliance on igniters? Only a matter of time till accumulators like this are obsolete then. I mean, I think that's great personally. It'll probably be about time to shut down this operation anyway. Not that I'd expect the Igniter Consortium would let it go without a fight. The Saiyan would stand with you, of course, but they're not infallible either. Since rumors of the king running around in Sunshade Row were true, I have no intention of prying now. Thanks to you besting Louis, I get to keep running my shop. Wasn't sure what with the sky turning red there. Not sure we could take another war. What worries you? Nothing in particular. Didn't say that because I think it'll happen. Just that nothing ever quite goes the way you think it will, eh? As long as people worry, people will want weapons. So I guess I'll be in business a good while longer. You... Yeah, Julian. Oh, your majesty. Running around Sunshade Row at this time of year? You must have some very particular tastes. Perhaps you've heard, there's unrest across the land as the oppressed are rising up in revolt against their oppressors. Or perhaps that news hasn't reached your walled garden here in Grand Trad. History books may not be kind to this era. Shouldn't they rise up? Oh, goodness, if I didn't know any better, I'd say you just endorsed rebellion. Don't you realize how dangerous ideology has become the spark of new threats? The dim-witted of the world only fan the flames with their anxiety, be it people or monsters. To be dissatisfied is in our nature. You know, for it being December, it is a cozy 24 degrees Celsius. I guess time of the year doesn't really affect this world as much as regional differences do. But isn't His Majesty, you were always partial to Sunshade Row, weren't you? I know you've hardly had a chance to warm that throne of yours, but the people here are as poor as they've ever been. Money's the only way anyone can get out. It was big news the Mage Academy reopened to anyone, but think about it. Only the rich can travel up a mountain. Sorry, I shouldn't talk your ears off politics. There's a new year to ring in. Look forward to a more relaxing new year without all the frantic work. Have a happy new year yourself, Your Majesty. I kind of wanted to see the world Louis was trying to make. Do you really? Hey, it's the lady, the activist woman. Thanks to your contribution, our work fighting against discrimination is slowly getting attention. The new king is Elda, with people from every tribe in key positions, except Roag. Again, want to point that out. We never had a Roag in our party. Though we do know. I guess Brigitta. Brigitta's the only one, right? Well, Maria's half, but she's not really an important political member. So we can't expect to end something so deeply rooted with a snap of our fingers. I'm going to keep doing my best to support those who suffered. They boast the largest selection of goods in the country. Your Majesty, listen to this. We just had a guest in the store claiming to be the chief of Etria. He said he wanted ingredients for the withering potion they use on the island, and how should I put this? The Mustari village chief, he's rather easy on the eyes, wouldn't you say? Oh wait, sorry, forgot about that. I swear I had a point. I want to tell you all sorts of people come visit now. It's like, oh my god, the Mustari chief, and he's hot! Everything's back to normal, except the one thing that mattered. Louis and Jurt, my husband, would never come home again. But I'm grateful for you. You stayed by my side and gave me courage during my darkest hours. Let's say that. You've always cheered me up with your gossip and the funny stories you told. You're not opposed. I'd like to live on with you. I think together we can deal with whatever comes our way. Yes, you're right. Together, we'll make it through, and I'll need your support. Yuri. Even though Louis died, my dad still isn't happy. It's because my mom died and she can't come back. You know, Mr. King, I've been cooking instead of my mom, and I'm trying really hard. I'm happy to be with my dad, so next year I'm going to work harder than ever. Just take you. Oh, wait. Okay, no. I was like, is the palace still, you know, up in the sky? No, it wouldn't be. I get shivers hearing stories from when the castle was floating in the sky. The place was teeming with crystals and monsters. There was no place for a man to enter, no sir. When the palace came back down, all the monsters had been dried out, like there were statues made of dirt. Rebuilding the place went faster than expected, and I heard they recouped some cost by selling the furnishing inside. Seems like a miracle, doesn't it? Still not allowed to walk around in our grand city of Grantrad. Oh, hello there. Who? You're the bastard who... Well, it's been a while anyway. Oh, no. He was one of Louis's, like, commanders. Bastard, was it? I apologize for my pertinence, Grace. No, you are quite literally correct. I am a bastard child, in a way. I was once known as Sergeant Zan, so I suppose that title carries little weight nowadays. After losing to you, my own men turned on me and threw me into the Oceania Sea. Wait, what? Awful as all that was, looking back, those events saved my life. All those who went with Louis to the royal palace and the sky never returned. A world where power is everything. I suppose that would be hell after all. Never thought you would inspire me to realize anything, yet here we are. Now I'm spending my days doing charity work as a member of the brigade under Chief Magnus. But I'll never give up on making my way up in the world on my own merits. Matter of fact, I was invited to participate in the Colosseum Games in Brawlhaven. While working on the brigade, I helped a nobleman who put in a recommendation for me. It's a brave new world, isn't it? Give me a gi and I'll make sure people know the name Xanth as a fighter that electrifies the audience. Wah, 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 wah. Louis was crazy, I learned that firsthand, but the country before it was riddled with mistakes. I like to think that the new king already knows, but frankly, I don't think much has changed in the last year. King or not, he's not that old. I'm sure he's doing his best, but in the end, he's just the old king's son. I don't expect very much of him. Oh, like, huh? Why is the symbol here? No, it's here. Well, it isn't your majesty. I don't even have the pluck to try selling water to the king, especially considering sales are. We've got customers from across the tribes now. I'm guessing people were just avoiding a Parapa's own shop before. Did we not also see... No. We saw her in the main street before. The first time around. Well, if it ain't the big man himself. Good timing, mate. I just got back into town myself. Where did you go? I'm captain of the Seekers Recon team, remember? We travel the world doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm crazy to even begin to describe what's beyond the sea. The sights, the magic. Everything's so fantastic, I'm already itching to get back out there. Oh, we're actually exploring beyond our continent now? Good job. Well, I'm not especially keen on dodging the bloody cannonballs when my ships got too close. Not the tension out there, but what country isn't a little tense? I wonder if those have gone to front us too. Everything from the customs to the way they think is so different, my head spins. Makes all the tribal bickering seem right dull if I can speak my mind. But this country is changing for the better. I'm glad I turned over the throne to you. You turned it over? I knew you'd do the right by the pair of us. I bowed it early to give you a fighting chance. Just kidding. On my court, I found jobs, and some of them even have picked up new skills from being out at sea for so long. But don't you worry your kingly head. I have it all whipped up in a report for you. Do something proper kingish with it, yeah? I was wondering who you might be. I see you're still fond of wandering these parts like always. I get it though, I do love the night market myself, and the last year that is. Then I began to hate it thanks to Louis. It was truly a terrible situation all around. Okay, I'm not actually gonna read everything. At least not out loud. Guys? Are things really alright now? Am I alive after all that's happened? Yes, you are. It's been a year. We came out of it okay. We've both been through a lot of terrible things, but we will overcome them one by one. Yes. Oh no, boy has PTSD. Excuse me, aren't you an elder? Please don't take that the wrong way. I'm just curious. Those three are elder too, aren't they? I wondered if perhaps you know them or something. Oh shit, it's the priestess. They came to visit. All elder know each other, clearly. Oh, I knew it. Oh, fuck's sake. That was supposed to be sarcastic, lady. Oh, the king is an elder, but isn't it strange that you never see others in town? I saw the group gazing at the Grand Cathedral and I thought, oh, maybe it's the first time in the city. Isn't that incredible? That elderly lady in the middle is floating, for heaven's sake. Is this some sort of igniter? Couldn't it be? Couldn't be. But then how? The other women's clothes are beautiful. Goes without saying, but I can't find clothes like that in Grand Trad, can you? There's something incredibly charming about them. Do you think I should try talking to them? Good fashion device. Oh hey, Rosal is also here. You're here! Oh, Gallica, and your highness as well. Oh, but that's no longer your title, is it? Excuse my impertinence, your majesty. Still, knowing that the New Year celebration was just around the corner, I couldn't resist returning to the capital to see how the kingdom was faring. Has it been kind to you? Indeed. I need only look upon their smiling faces to see that. The city feels alive again, and it seems as though the citizens are free to choose their own paths. I must say I never imagined that I'd return here without all the cloak and shadow. I owe a great deal to the work of Lady Juno. To think I'd be able to see Grand Trad with His Highness sitting up openly upon the throne. Altice, are you seeing this as well? We have a long way to go, but I know Grice will be watching. I should tell you, a sizable number of the villagers in the sanctum have gained an interest in the outside world. I've been acting as a sort of their bridge. It seems this dog-reading old fool has found a new role, to find the middle ground for both of those who wish to preserve tradition and those who seek innovation. I couldn't think of a better man for the job, Russell. I'm sure you'd be a great help to the village. I've fought so long to save this country. But seeing all these smiling faces now, I think perhaps I'm the one being saved. This is a country that protects its people, and the people shape the country in turn. Surely that's the world His late Majesty wished to see. Not to simply chase the ideal of an utopia, but to shape it with your own hands. You have a long way to go, but I trust you'll continue to make this country stronger, Your Majesty. What's up? Lady Gruday? Gruday? I don't know. It's been some time, hasn't it, Nova? You've matured a great deal in the short years since I last saw you, but we didn't grow an inch. Rumors of your rule have reached even the sanctum. Some are kinder than others. Taking the reins of a runaway country must have its share of difficulties. Your face tells me as much. The frail child who could only do little more than lie on the brink of death has come so far. Goodness, the tears come so easily with old age. I'm grateful for you. I did nothing. You're the one who achieved everything. I'm surprised to see you in Grand Trad, Lady Gruday. It's a curious thing. I've received a rather forceful invitation here, you see, from one of your friends, the girl named Judah. Goodness knows how many times she's already come to visit the sanctum seeking instructions on magic. Some of the villagers are rather smitten with her. She declared that if I wouldn't feel welcome coming to Grand Trad, she would have a highway built directly between the capital and the sanctum. Oh, Juno. She probably would. There you have it. Now that Nova, or rather, King Nova, the 1,000-year seclusion of the Elder Tribe may soon come to an end under your guidance, and yet the journey ahead of you will be hard. The dreams you hope to achieve will feel just out of reach. So do stop by and show your face around our forest sometime. Your mother cannot do so herself, but I can whip up some of her favorite dishes in her spirit. Hey, Mr. Redgrass Man. Your Majesty, I heard from Fabienne about how you still take the time to pop into the Honeybee Inn now and then. It's not very kingly of you, but that's what makes you so trustworthy. The podium. Makes nostalgic for our days of candidate debates. It feels like everyone's discussing national politics now, doesn't it? Oh, Stroll. Damn, he's rocking that cape. And this would be the end here, I see. We learned how brittle peace is, as well as the preciousness of a life lost. The peace we regained could be lost again. We must remain vigilant.
Yo.
Spoken about the city again, are we? Which is to say, Hulkenberger's on the hunt. If that's a game of cat and mouse, though, who's which, I dare not say. It's been a year since you've ascended the throne, but it's like you've hardly changed. Should I be more pretentious? Forgive me. I'll try to act more like a pretentious git from now on.
Yeah.
That's rich. All that royal blood in you is positively wasted, my friend. What are we to do with you? Now that I can talk. I actually came out for a bit of a breather myself. You know, I see now that even those at the top have their struggles a little too clearly. My general's duties feel overwhelming at times. With our lives hanging in the balance, I recognize the weight of every decision I make, and I do find satisfaction in protecting those lives. Remember our first meeting at the recruitment center? I, a fallen noble with nothing to my name, and you, a struggling elder traveler? Back then, my only goal was getting ahead. My people were little more than an afterthought. If I hadn't met you, I would have never realized the truth about my fortune, my father's intentions, and I certainly wouldn't have saved the Halians. I owe seeing the joys on their faces to you. I think I've said it before, but again, thank you. Give yourself some credit, dude. I would still owe any credit I could take to you for showing me the way. They live stable, peaceful lives thanks to you. You've a whole country on your shoulders now, and the road ahead will be full of challenges we can't possibly foresee. But show me the way and I'll blaze the trail. Now and always, it's my role as a warrior to be the vanguard. Our tiles may have changed, but I'd like to think our friendship is steadfast as ever. Don't hesitate to rely on me now and always. Aww. I do... Like, the previous state general was just snapped out of existence, right? Like, I thought for sure when they showed all the states, like, council people, they would be more relevant, but they just weren't at all. Oh god, now I realize that this family is like a unit bit that they plop down from time to time. Like the exact same like configuration with the kid hopping about. Are we really gonna see all the frickin' Louis sergeants? If it is His Majesty, the captain of the Royal Guard is looking for you. As former Captain Guard Chadrius, perhaps I should report your whereabouts? Why are you here? I suppose I should reintroduce myself. I'm Salva in service of the kingdom as the captain. Oh. Wow, you made captain. Damn. Parted ways with Louis shortly before his runner mate for the Skyborn Royal Palace. When I saw the horror that Zorba had become, I knew the world he wanted was no world of mine. I thought I'd found my place within Louis's private forces after being disgusted by the shameless corruption of the Royal Army, but his true intentions were worse than I could imagine. It was the general who pulled me back in. He said my experience leading a force of mixed tribes would be valuable. I've only taken the job in hopes of atoning, so it's a strange twist to serve with the pride in the state army I once so detested. Still, I wonder why he bothered with us. Wanted you to get better. Can't understand how miserable things were because of Louis, but I didn't end up fleeing, perhaps because seeing Your Majesty fight stirred a sense of duty within me. Shall do my part. Okay. Pardons you. What an unexpected coincidence, Your Majesty. No guards with you today. Don't worry, I'm no tattletale. I myself just left the meeting going over how the provincial governments are doing. We've convened for the new year. You must be busy these days. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't, but the job is its own reward, knowing what good it does for the town. I'm pleased to report as head of the provincial lords. Oh, the head of provincial lords, damn! That's nothing but good news reaching my ears. Better relations between towns, has employment up and overall welfare too, so he's organizing a bunch of towns. Each town has specialties and wisdom to offer, and when we combine our heads, there's no problem we can't solve. This feels so blessed to be a part of it. I know I made some blunders when I first stepped into the governor's role, but I'm happy to share my failings so others don't repeat my mistakes. Things all right now? Indeed they are. The townspeople play an active role in policy and administration, and I'm not bearing that weight alone. Of course, some lords are like I was once, and would rather manage things at their sole discretion than leave things to the people. And yes, taking every matter to public opinion can be laborious, with all the proceedings and disputes. Still, changing our own lives with our own hands makes the process worth the trouble. And choosing a king of our own will was all the inspiration we needed for change. Nope. I can visit the old recruitment center. Do I see the guy? Is the guy gonna be here? I thought the the other guy, the other, like, I don't remember if he had portrait, but the other guy next to Klinger would be here. For shame. Am I still number 1 in the bounty hunting rankings? No. No. Okay. I love the mild jog I got. Suppose you can't totally eliminate crime. Nope. It's an honor. I found the reason to be assigned my post here at the recruitment center. Actually, I was sorting through enlistment records from 2 years ago and was surprised to find a certain signature. That's right, your Majesty's signature. And General Stroll's as well. I was quite surprised to discover that the two of you had met here, to think that they deployed the future king in the army. Horrifying. Cool. Don't have any bounties for you, Your Majesty. We've been at peace for a while thanks to you, and we're dealing with things one step at a time. Do you have everything in the plazas then? I think I've got almost everybody in the plaza. Tomorrow's finally the day. Have you finished your preparations? Our journey to the Major Academy in Monterey will be quite long. Why are you taking me as your traveling companion? You say you saw how much I admired Louis, how hostile I was to your faith. To our faith. Everyone said foolish things. Faced with national crisis, we clung to power instead of trying to use our power to solve it. But times have changed. The Major Academy now opens its doors to anyone. No harm will come to those who want to learn there, but alas, my youth has fled me. So I'll use my wealth to ensure others can reach it. Take what you learn there and spread it through the kingdom, far and wide. Oh. It's been quite some time since we met, but I've never forgotten you. You were a young elder about town from the recruitment center to the mausoleum. I'll watch from the shadows. There's still times where the people hurl abuse on me for being Mustari. However, thanks to your majesty, I can run my business with pride. The old mausoleum. Feels like such a long time ago. It's been non-stop crazy since then. Ain't that true? Alright, good ord! Well, if it isn't your majesty, it's been a year since you've ascended the throne, and a quick one at that. It feels like the strife with Louis was but a bad dream. Had you asked me then, I would have been wringing my hands about one so young leading the kingdom. But now, I'm embarrassed to have thought it. You had a keen eye to recognize the danger Louis posed, and have braver still to have fought him. You had kingly caliber I never truly possessed. Still, a single year is but a drop in the proverbial bucket. Stay vigilant, King. Aww. Look at him. Look at his character growth. Ah, the streets. Do 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 do. Bum bum ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Now that we lost our leader in the church, what's to become of our lifestyle? Good and bear for now. The king's as much as a dreamer as the last. He'll be crushed under the weight of those lofty ideals soon enough. I'm sure of it. Yeah, fair enough. Hey, Yadini.
Yeah.
Hello there, Your Majesty. It's great to see you're doing as well as ever. I've just left a meeting with the provincial lords. I also preach the Mustari teachings in various areas when the opportunity arises. Many still push back against such teachings, but that's perfectly fine. The country is well served by different perspectives. Many of the villagers have come around to this too, you know? I think that's because you all face such danger on our behalf. Still, it won't be easy to change the entirety of Uchronia, as history is embedded deep in its roots. The country is larger, and some people will need all the power you have. The true test of your values has only just begun. What's up, dude?
Oh.
You're surveying the city incognito, Your Majesty. Well, I'm really bad at doing it incognito because I'm not wearing a disguise, but sure. Your escorts would be aghast. Not that I think anyone is truly capable of harming you. As you are aware, faith in the Sanctus Church plummeted after our misdeeds were exposed. I admit, we were arrogant and unjust, wicked in custom, but people have found salvation through the Church as well. And then to restore the Sanctus Church to its true purpose, to offer salvation to those in need. As Sanctiarch, and as someone who was saved by the Sanctus faith myself, that's all I can do to return the favor. Is Sanctiarch like the new Sanctifex or something? I don't know. I don't know titles. Oh, hey, Yufa. I didn't even see you there, but yeah, Idini's right here, and then, yeah. Oh, Batlin. Do Just recently, a sanctuary in Brilhaven was brought to judgment as crime using parapet subjects for atrocious igniter experiments. The church reaffirms its dedication to cracking down on inhuman acts such as these. Actually owning up to its scandals. Huh. They're just trying to put on a good show for the new king. Doing things like that, like they always have, would only send them spiraling further. Madeline! Well, hello, your majesty. As laid back as ever, I see. I myself have been crying like a baby, for I find my position as chairman of parliament quite an unfamiliar one. Still, I've considered these open-for-all parliament meetings. Compiling all those opinions is indeed hard work, but work well through it. It won't be easy for those who wear the church's beck and call to change, but I think they've been starting to see that they've turned a blind eye to. At least a bit, no? A person who speaks the real truth to the public without yielding to authority. That's what my father and I wished for. A true and proper town crier. This country's turned over a new leaf, but there's still many problems to work out. Seems the rural regions are still suffering from human havoc. All I'm saying is we're a long way from utopia. But still, the first step is as important as the last, and we are taking big ones.
Konnichiwa.
Yeah, her robe is just like slightly different, huh? Just has some different drip. Working hard as ever, Nova. Were you going about town and listening to what the people have to say? Myself, I've just come from the Crown Court, where I've been consulting with the people about their grievances and disputes as Chief Magistrate. Our court is time for that?
Hi.
In the past, we were busy with cases of violence and theft, but those have decreased remarkably. As you're undoubtedly aware, in the past many citizens were sentenced to hang without so much as a trial. I'm pleased to report things are different now. Anyone, regardless of race or status, can tell their side of the story in court and be judged equally and fairly. It just goes to show anything is possible, even for a priestess to become a chief magistrate. And my brother is making great strides as village chief. He rather hated the role before, but he's truly found his calling, I think. As I said, no one knows what the future holds. It's all the more reason I try to guide people to good choices. I want to live in a society that practices kindness, where those who suffer need not turn to crime. And so I practice what I preach. And the other day I went to visit Ovi's church to inquire with those who are sick there, about how the kingdom can be more accessible to them. How's Ovi? We practiced dancing together, and then we showed her mother. All of them are ready to ease into working again. Hearing them made me reflect on all the people who still need our help. Until now, the only hope those people had was God. I want to fight for them to have options, under laws and systems where they can rely on in addition to higher power. A country where all the tribes with all their values can join hands in harmony. That's what we need. You aim to achieve that too, yes, Your Majesty? I hope you'll allow me to keep walking alongside you on this. So much talking.
Nah.
Chatting youth. After all the fuss across the kingdom, the one who ended up on the throne was the blood heir after all. Oh, the irony. He had the strength to take down Louis, I'll give him that. But in the end, I guess blood's all that ever matters. Was the only viable choice of the lot. Who knows if he'll be a decent king. Suppose that all depends on what he does next. Yeah, also understandable. The coachman again. Mr. Driver, how long until we depart? I'm bloody eager to move on. First Oceania, then Monterey. My cross-country trip starts now. A new chapter in my life. Not true when you have fun, but this carriage doesn't go that far. You know that, right? Brigitte.
Oh.
My lass. The king himself out browsing the shops. Perhaps they need to draft up a royal certificate of appointment. Tell the world we supply goods to the royal family. Any recommendations? One igniter in particular, in fact. Though I'm afraid we're all sold out at the moment. The igniter I made at the Childer's request, the one that lights up with rainbow colors, is selling startlingly well. The store was packed with families and children. I now hold position where I control the distribution of all manner of goods throughout the kingdom as the head of the Igniter Consortium. Oh, replace the head, huh? I can't help but think that if I had been in this position sooner, then the church's violence, the tragedy of that village could have been prevented. Let's focus on the present. What matters is how we move forward.
Oh.
Indeed, I can dwell on the past all I wish, but it won't change it. In the future, on the other hand, I took up this post after I was nominated by my colleagues. In other words, I suppose that means people have expectations of me, and that I too am a spoke in the wheel of change. A new king has changed this country for the better. However, as a former arms dealer, it would be naive to think all weapons can ever disappear from this world. All the more reason I hope that the reasons for people to wield them continue to decline. To that end, I'll continue all that I possibly can, with all that I am, just as you do. Do you remember my dog? I found the ones who took her. Naturally, I considered ending their lives. There she was, sitting beside them. Evidently, they could not bring themselves to harm such a sweet creature, so they decided to keep her instead. Happy ending for the dog! Oh my god! The dog lived! I had no choice but to spare their lives. I couldn't subject a gentle dog to the atrocities I've committed in her name. You should come play with her sometime. I'm sure she remembers you. Aww. Happy ending for the doggy. Been some time since you graced us with your presence. What style of igniter may help you with this time? I know that's not why you're here. As you can see, it's thanks to you that the Lysaean Magic Association has been able to continue its business. Our king has shown us what magic ought to be. Humans and other threats still stalk the land, so igniters and their powers have remained indispensable asset in maintaining the country. All this talk of original magic that doesn't rely on igniters, it's gonna take some time to make it viable. We'll continue to produce igniters with pride, helping to bridge this era with the next. Hell yeah. Still has the replica of the Royal Scepter. Okay, lovely. What's the word, Your Majesty? Just one question, if I may. When are you gonna lower the booze price in this country? I'm on the captain, yeah. I haven't felt like drinking until I black out so often anymore. After I entered the tournament, I really went through some stuff. I was acting a fool on the world stage, and to you too. I'm grateful, you know. Can't speak for the rest of the country, but you've done right by us, Peripus. We got it better than we ever did. Some chuckleheads out there still trying to take their aggression out on us, but they're just venting probably. I'm sure you'll do something soon enough. Kavio. Traveling with Lady Juno sure was fun. Ah, Your Majesty! What business do you have with former helmsmen like me? What about Juno? I had the honor of attending to her during an expedition. Actually, I think she's on her way to the palace in order to meet with you. Oh, you didn't hear from Chief Magnus? Lady Juno was off inspecting the Mage Academy, and I was the flight's helmsman. Knocked me on my ass when Lady Juno left Luce's company, you know? I left right after she did. Anyway, still undecided about you being king and all that, but I do appreciate you taking me in, so I'm gonna work to repay that favor. On that note, by the time I got back to work. And don't tell the chief I was shooting the breeze here, Your Majesty? I believe the Royal Palace has returned to its original location. Even now, there's people who can hardly believe that it was flying about, making its way around the entire kingdom. And I saw it with my own eyes. I witnessed the moment the red light within the king's eyes vanished, and the palace returned to the gauged-out land it was pulled from. This just leads to Century Row, right? Right. This weird camera angle of Century Row. Who am I missing? Juno? Nuras? Your Majesty the King, I still remember that night in the city when I first laid eyes on you. The evening of the royal funeral, it was the first time I'd ever seen someone from the Elder Tribe, and I immediately knew there was something special about you. And I was right on the money. It's this lady. The one who's always like, the Elder, it's your fault, it's your fault. And the Elder, wait, aren't you His Majesty the King? Why would you be in a place like this? I can't be here? Absolutely not. You mock me, Your Majesty. Thought we'd see less of that kind of stuff, but I guess we couldn't expect prejudice against the Elder to disappear overnight. An Elder King, what a world. Damn. Still like that, huh? Hi, it's this guy. Is that Your Majesty? What fortune to bump into you at the end of a year like this? Is there anything my humble personage may be able to do for you? Your radiance, I'm at your service. Say but one glorious word that I shall most happily. Laying it on a little thick, aren't we? It's that forked tongue that you got. It's that forked tongue that got you into trouble last time. You hear me? One wrong move and I'm turning you over to Basilio. You've got to turn your life around. I guess right, but like, of course we had like royal knights, state general and stuff, but I guess Basilio is more like captain of like local police force, effectively. So that's neat.
Huh?
Now what's this? His Royal Majesty the King. What brought you to my little dive? Come to think of it, I said some rude things to you last year. Told you to keep your Elder down. No hard feelings? Trouble quarrels haven't quieted down here at all. Might even be worse now that everyone's equal in the eyes of the law. But sometimes fists just need to fly. It's not like it was back when the sky was red as blood and death was everywhere. In fact, it's amusing to see new faces around here. That's a good change, I think. Bum, 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 bum. What's this guy? I still remember the day I met you last year, Your Majesty. I felt you had a kind heart, bothering to listen to an old man's folktale. Do they actually have different dialogue based on if you did activities with them? I guess this works out really well, because obviously in Grand Trad, that was your first option to even do activities. So you would be more likely to have done them and have this dialogue. And then say a young man who, loved by fairies, finds happiness. Folk tales aren't just tired old stories for dreamers. I'd say they have the power to tell the future sometimes, though maybe that's giving them a little too much credit. Runner's still here. Oh, I can go on the Gauntlet Runner too. Jesus. Oh. The Nurse is just chilling outside. Can't believe the owner of the sweet Gauntlet Runner ended up king, but it helped me come to a decision. In the new year, I'm gonna see even more Gauntlet Runners.
Yahoo!
Hey, boss. Dang, I suppose I didn't speak to you so casually, huh? Then again, we were rivals, weren't we? And Caden Workshops, the official workshop of Pal's engineers now too. Not that it's here nor there. Besides, I'm glad you got the crown. Still lots of humans out there you have to deal with, and you'll need a Gauntlet Runner to get him. Caden Workshop thanks you for your patronage.
Why?
You moron, can't you see I'm busy? Oh, do you, Your Majesty, remember me, do you? Of course. Seems your reputation of remembering even the faces of those in lower ranks is true. Yeah, faces. It's not like you wear a freaking helmet. I'm Sheba, former maintenance chief of Louisa's Gauntlet Runner. I'm just examining Your Majesty's Gauntlet Runner as part of my research duties. I recall how astonished I was to see her take to the sky the first time. I wanted to get back to my engineering roots, but then Louis started showing his true colors and the Tarauders went down. Gotta say, Your Majesty, you're too soft. We used to be enemies, but you recommended us for the brigade and gave us work anyway. Pretty genius making old Basilio the captain too. Louis's old crew will fall in line like wooden soldiers. But I'm not sure the kind of lenience Fortress nations. So off with you, huh? Can't imagine you can afford to waste time on old relics like me. Be well, Your Majesty. Gatekeeper! In a different game. An elder, the king's tribe. Won't catch anyone bad-mouthing them now. Not openly, anyway. What do you think of the current king? In my opinion, he's a victim of the last one. If you think about it, he used the royal magic to put the whole kingdom in chaos, and that's what caused Louis's rebellion in the first place. Who's the real root of all evil here? I lost a good number of friends to it all. Couldn't bring myself to mourn the death of the last king. Still can't.
Oi.
We're the heart of the country, Grand Trad. Even a parapus could find work here. I suppose that's what they. It's true what they say. Change the king, the country changes too. Don't get carried away.
Yeah.
I wondered how things were going to end for a while there, but things seem quite under control now. I'm glad the threatening madman didn't end up king. Still, an upstart from a forgotten tribe has no business slighting the established nobility. King with nothing but flowery speeches and ideals will hit a wall before too long. No different than the last king, really. There are those flying things. What are those? What the fuck are these? What are they for? They're just here to paint a pretty picture of the sky. Oh, they're Magla accumulators. Except that they also kind of need to fly with Magla. I guess they accumulate more than they spend with this. Can't slack off on God in the Magla accumulator just because the country's at peace. If even mag dust like this can be abused, we could have another riot on our hands. Powers that shake the world will breed new ambition. Oh, here's Juno. Is it... Plateau?
まさか
Isn't that the cat from Academia? If that place was made of magic, how is it here in real life? Say nothing of how it could have survived in the deserted ruin buried in the snow. That shouldn't be possible, right? I just think he's cute. And he's never stopped looking cute. Doesn't bother you at all? You sure are something else. If memory serves, the last king did bid himself a study in the Mage Academy. Do you think Academia was styled after that, maybe? I wonder what His Majesty, what more felt when he put this little guy in Academia. The cat tends to himself quietly, utterly impartial to us.
イケてるね
He used to meet this old Clamar here. He died about a year ago in the riots. He was so full of himself, always telling me I was wrong. But you know what? Most other Clamars wouldn't have even bothered speaking with a parapus like me. The man actually treated me like a person. He was a gruff, mean bastard, no question about it, but he wasn't a bad person by any means. And me, I suppose I was fond of him. Yeah, I liked the little conversations. Now that he's gone, I miss him.
イケてるね
Oh, hello.
憧れるぜ
Excited soldier. Do you have something you need with the Gauntlet Runner? All's well here. Might I tell you something I often wanted to say? Do you remember a long time ago when Louis dropped that human on the city? I was actually assigned to duty at the Grand Cathedral that day. The said army was in complete disarray, and us soldiers were absolutely terrified. But it was the rumors about you that kept us afloat in those dark times, Your Majesty. You couldn't go a day without hearing someone insult the lesser tribes, and here comes this group led by some elder, fighting through the cathedral with no regard for their lives. If you'd only known how much the tales of your heroism and courage gave to the gods that day. Well, the hero king. We truly are like Marth.
Hmm?
What brings His Royal Majesty here? Come to feel the wind in your face too, have you?
Aha.
I know how it is. I have the fancy old title of Chief Engineer of the Kingdom Infrastructure Development Bureau and can research as I please now, but something's missing. So I threw off the old stuffy uniform and came to gaze upon the runner, and the way I do. I know how you feel.
自分も
Oh?
I knew you'd agree. I think my bones are aching to feel the wind. I rather miss the days of dashing hither and thither in the runner.
Ah.
Not that I'm ungrateful for the gracious title you've given to a man who used to skulk about, modifying gauntlet runners. You haven't seen anything yet. Why, one day I'll invent a teleportation device that will deliver fresh fish straight from Oceania to your palatial plates. It would change the world, wouldn't you say? I'm just a bit, stuck at the beginning on the development.
お前さん
And it's times like this I need stimulation of the mind. You have anything that might do the trick? Do I smell another relic gun? Don't pretend you didn't enjoy it. I didn't. Every time we'd pop back in with one, I remember I could hardly contain my excitement. I do so miss traveling like that. Even if the relics themselves are better off left untouched, they've become the guiding principles of my research, you
そ
know?
れは
Convenience is important, but one must consider safety and the effects it might have on the world. An engineer who dumps the burden on future generations is no engineer at
た
all.
だ
Well, it's no small feat to design a perfect balance of safe and revolutionary. Even I struggle with it, and I'm a bally genius. I knew it. What I need is stimulation. Your Majesty. You know, like the soul-shaking speed and quiver of a drive engine. You'll let me know if you ever want to go out for a spin, won't you? Our dear old girl, sparkling clean and always ready for takeoff.
はあいいね
王様
There you are, Nova. Heard you were in town, so I decided to see if we might cross paths. I have so much to tell you about my inspections, but I'm afraid you'll need to clear your diary for me soon. Inspection?
ちょっと
Really? Do you need to go back to bed? You were the one who sent me to the Mage Academy, were you
あ
not?
のね
The Mage Academy's reconstruction is going swimmingly. Repairs are in full swing, and we're already processing admissions. I must say, I'm still surprised you appointed me, of all people, to be the Academy's headmistress. I was rather looking forward to going back on tour as a songstress. Oh, and I shall introduce you to my furry little friend. I scooped him up in the Academy of all places. Ah. During the reconstruction, they stumbled on the little guy in some kind of observatory supposedly used by the king a long time ago. Considering the igniter around his neck, I'm sure he was being taken care of. I mean, there's no way a cat could survive alone in that cult, could
どう
he?
やら
Regardless, our mysterious kitty is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the Academy. All that knowledge was lost when it fell, so we're starting from scratch. It may even be hiding secrets as big as the Dragon Temple of the Sanctum. Oh, and I'm keeping the cat. Feels like fate, you know?
そういえば
A witch needs her cat. Speaking of fate, on my way back, I met up with Myrtus. She's well, I trust?
ええ
More than well. Her throat's been fine, and she's a fairly prominent singer about town now. We both just keep soaring to new heights, her in music, and me coming face to face with magic again. Surely you remember, music was the first magic born in this world, yes? When the heart expresses itself through music, it moves the heart of others. And when they make hearts swell, why, there's no end to the magic. So just you watch. With music and magic at my side, I'm gonna change the world. All will have equal opportunity to hone their talents at the Mage Academy. Our doors are open to all. That's what my sister would have wanted, and if it makes the world a better place, why, isn't that just grand? Ella taught me that magic is more than a tool. It's in all of us, deep in our hearts. Is Rella still frozen in front of the Mage Academy? Oh, hello, Radolf.
やあやあ
Thinking that you, of all people, would end up becoming the king. I never expected it, but I will tell you one thing. Wax poetic about your ideals all you want, but when it comes to protecting the country, only power will suffice. People don't all approve of a dreamer king. Were you?
なぬ
What? You don't even remember my face? Bloody hell, this is why you... Never mind, I'll spare you for today. I watched silently for a year, and I still don't accept you as my king. You're all ideals and no power, same as the king before you. Yeah, fair.
憧れるぜ
Is there anything in the runner? Can I go to the toilet? Is it toilet time? It's toilet time! Hell yeah. I can still loot the pantry too. Oh my god. I didn't find anything. No! Oh, shame. Hmm.
さて
行こっか
It makes me nostalgic now, thinking about the strategy meetings you once had. In the last battle, when we rushed to the Charadius, the Gauntlet Runner was a great help. Scalico. Nope. Let's look at this chart. Nope. I guess that's it, huh?
あらあら
Hello there. Oh, it's this guy, Roger. Honored to meet you at this most auspicious time of year. Although I was quite devoted to Louis at one point, his power was both overwhelming and alluring. Where do you stand now? I'm disgusted by my shallowness, if I'm honest. I'll deign atonement, but I'll try at least to be straight with you from now on. Not to bring down the mood, but I wanted to mention, I sense something familiar among your supporters. I recognize it because I was the same way. In their eyes, you're a hero who conquered the monstrous Louis. They entrusted you with authority because of your power and their desire to be at peace. Let us assume that the people have expectations not of your ideology, but solely of your power. King or not, failing to see the difference may invite consequences. Please, take it from someone who erred in this way. The people of this country have not recovered from the unrest, and when they do... what? And when they do what? And when they do what? Oh, Marlowe's here too. Now, it would been a year since you've ascended to the throne, and 1 year since I lost my bid for it. Thinking back, I've no regrets. I'd not have been able to defeat Louis in the end as you did. That's candid of you.
Oh.
I don't know what I expected, really, but I believe in your power, your majesty. They will not acquiesce on all fonts, you know? You needn't look further than your 6 partisans, your merry little band. I can appreciate your faith in your inner circle, but to award them all with your key posts, why, one might suspect you of collusion. The country requires views from all walks of life, or put another way, why not appoint me your prime minister? With my guidance, Ukraine would become a land of true beauty. Just when you think he's about to make a decent point, he plays his own angle. Don't let your guard down around that guy. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I mean, nepotism could be bad.
よかったな。
I miss the days when the face rock was here. Never knew what to expect back then. Joyful one moment, miserable the next. Remember, after Louis was defeated and the king decided? Indeed I do. Suddenly his majesty's face eclipsed the others for the briefest of moments, then it all crumbled away like sand. Over a bit too soon after all that palaver, I say. I liked his coronation speech, but I can't say he's accomplished much of any importance since then. His strength certainly was incredible during the final battle in Grand Trad, but I wonder what people in the other cities who didn't see that side think of things. Either way, as long as the next year is uneventful and peaceful, I'll consider it a win. Okay. Oh, one more thing. No, there's no L1. I try to look if L1 says anything. I can't access archetypes either, so I can't ask my mom. Can't talk with my mom. Alright. No information. Oh, wait. Nova the First. The young king who earned the people's trust and ascended to the throne after meeting the lofty requirements of the magic set in place by the previous king, Athledeus V. Though oddly enough the rightful heir to the crown, he values having become king by the people's will and not his lineage. He was not coronated as Athledeus VI, choosing instead to start a new era of kings as Nova the First. Once a fond reader of his father's fantasy novel that convinced him that the country depicted therein was utopia, Nova eventually eschewed the past and its lost glories to choose to embark instead on a path of a better king. Having achieved uniting the people in the kingdom's recovery from turmoil only a year after his coronation, his true worth as a leader will be put to the test as he moves into the second year of his reign. Uchronia is a united kingdom, a place where people of different lands and cultures live together. In order to be a king whose face is known to them, it may be time for him to seek out once again as a traveler, a book that would tell his own story clutched in hand. Okay, but where is... Oh, King's Six Partisans, a monarch for the allies that accompanied Nova on his journey, comprised of Stroll, Hoggenberg, Hezime, Juna, Yufa, and Basilio, not Neros. After Nova's accession to the throne, the collective title gradually came into use, though none seemed to be sure whether it originated from the crown itself or from the people. It first to their continued support of the prince, which, even after he sustained a blast of dark magic during the duel with Louis in Grand Trad and needed to flee, remained unwavering. Their peerless faith was further demonstrated when the prince returned again to Grand Trad and defeated Louis. The fervent strength of the relationship, though each hailed from different tribes, came to be seen as a symbol of hope by all in the kingdom. Except for Roak. I still think it's so funny. Because, like, the whole point is like, oh, we've got people from all different tribes. Except Roak. A mysterious voice guiding Nova upon awakening to the power of archetypes until his eventual revival as prince. The voice belongs to the late queen of the Elder Tribe. They didn't need to spell it out, we got it, but kind of them to still do it. He used magic to transfer her soul into Gallica on the day of the ancient sanctum was set ablaze. In other words, Nova's mother. Okay, I guess that detail... Hold on, though that detail was not communicated. She just said she, like, made her soul a material and weaved it among the fairies, not specifically Gallica, but sure, Gallica. On Louis. Louis's mysterious origins are revealed. He is surprisingly of Elder origin, born in the Elden Sanctum much like Nova. After experiencing the arson attack on the Sanctum, and having faced the overwhelming absurdity of it, he became radicalized, finding disappointment in all other avenues that did not amount to conquering through sheer force.
よかったな。
いいね。
Bum, 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 ba, 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 ba.
どうする？
Look at where we are. Do, 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 do. How far we've come. Still with so many items intact. Quick, level up my stuff.
新しい力だ。
Quick, get max level on Savior. Get max ranks and everything. Go, 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 go. Okay, no, I'm kidding. No quests. Guess it's time.
さて、
いい？
I think we've heard all we can from the people. Should we head to where Maria is? Let's go see her. And hopefully she is voiced.
そういえば、
Being here sure brings back memories. You remember how we came here looking for Maria before the tournament for the throne? She was crying back then, though. She's happy now.
でも、
You could say that again. This country's turned around since then, no doubt about it. I'm sure there will always be differences of opinions, but your ideals are really coming to fruition now. I can feel it. That reminds me, what's up with the book you're carrying around now? Is that the one you've been working on yourself? I'm excited to see what kind of fantasy you can conjure up. But maybe that's not even the word for it. After all, if you're the one putting it in ink, that means you're going to make it a reality someday. Now then, Your Majesty, shall we get going? Oh, nice. Look how well the church is repaired now. She also has not grown up any gear.
じゃなかった。今は王様だもんね。ちょうどお父さんに報告してたんだ。いろいろあったけど、あれからみんなで頑張ってるよって。
Am I keeping my promise?
いつかの約束、自分は守れているかな。
悪い人をやっつけて町の人に笑顔が増えたよ。お父さんもきっと喜んでると思う。よかったね。マリアに言ってもらえると私も本当に嬉しい。
It's a joy to see kids like her smile. The future changes slowly, and the burden of its momentum will fall on their shoulders one day.
私もね、できることから頑張ってみようと思うんだ。私ね、みんなに伝えたいんだ。誰かと手をつなげば世界はきっと変わるって。あれから何回もファビアンヌさんのご飯、お腹空いた人たちに食べてもらったんだよ。そこで自分の場所が分かったって人もいた。きっと私もそうやってみんなで一緒に変わっていけば王様とお父さんの夢にも近づくでしょ。
A place where I ought to be, a side of myself I ought to show. The path is never clear.
私も何かお手伝いしたい。だってみんながニコニコ笑ってる国がいいから。
You can be Minister of Smiles. You make a trusty advisor.
ああ、よろしく。心強い側近さん。
ありがとう王様。ありがとう王様。
ありがたいのはこっちだな。あの笑顔、この国の明るい未来そのものだ。
Oh, the crew is here.
久しぶり。元気してた？
せっかくだし、私もアルセスに挨拶をしておこうと思ってな。
おい、あの方たちはもしかして。
Hold on, the most important people in the country all together?
ぞろぞろいかんでも。
いいじゃねえか。たまには全員集合もよ。
ジュナさん、地道に凱旋車で地べた走ってきたんすか？転移魔法あんだから迎えに王様呼びゃよかったのに。
お前な。
いいのよ。私が国の様子を見て回りたかったの。都会と違って地方はまだ結構荒れてるわね。強化現象も残ってるし、人間も相変わらず出るみたい。
その都度兵を連れて乗り込んではいるが、遠方の声まで残らず拾うのはなかなか難しい。
当たり前だけど、王様になったからって急に全部を見渡せるようになんかならないもんね。
去年の俺と同じだな。結局世の中外出て足で稼がんとわからねえことだらけだ。
He's right, the capital can be a bit of a bubble. There will always be more to do and learn beyond its walls. Which is why we must go!
1年前なら直接飛んでったとこだな。けどまあ、今なら多少は留守にしても回るんじゃねえか。
まあこうなる可能性も考えて準備くらいは進めている。
とはいえまだ1年だ。君主の衛星が増えれば悪さを企む者はどうしても増える。
お、いたいた、あそこだ。なあ、言ったろ。あれ
Imagine
王
the
様だろ。
chaos if like people
さす
word
が
got
に
out
目立ち
that
すぎたか。
all the people's most important people
何
are just
が
gone.
よう王様か貴様。
落ち着け。秒で抜こうとするんじゃない。外へ繰り出してきたのはこっちだろ
王様、いっつもありがとな。あんたのおかげでだいぶ暮らしやすくなったぜ。
いろいろあるけどさ、一緒に頑張っていきましょう。応援してるからさ。
みんな応援してくれてる。なんか去年の景色が蘇ってくるね。
そうだな。こういう声聞いてっと思い出しちまうぜ。あの旅をな。
何せドラゴンまで全部ぶっ倒して回ったからな。考えてみりゃよく生きてたな、俺ら。
なかなか刺激的な無茶だったわね。竜神様を鎮めるために戦った時にはまさかあと4度も竜と戦うことになるなんて考え
Additional
もしま
alliance
せ
for
んで
the
した。
bonus quests.
同感だ。よもや竜殺しの称号をもらう日が来ようとは。人生何があるかわからん。
I resolved to believe in my ideals no matter what may come, even back then. Even if the world is slow to change, a king's beliefs can never waver.
大変だったが本当に楽しかったな。
I just don't become the good dad and give up after some
結
years
構人が
of
増えてきた
tragedy.
ね。そろそろ仕事に戻りましょう。
ああ。すべきことはまだまだ
Still
山積みだ。
corruption abound.
それからほどなくの新年。
Oh, but some days later. Some days later or a year later, which is it? Ah. Yeah, we can strike the Kraken. We murdered that guy.
旅？ちょっと本当に行くつもり？
What do you mean leaving us? You come with me, right? There's more I have to see.
やっぱり自分の目で確かめたいんだ。
世界の様子を
That's
ちゃ
still
んと
such
知
a
りた
young
いって
king.
わけね。ま、王様だもんね。
I need more life
そいつは楽し
experience.
そうだが、旅となるとお忍びでその辺歩くのとはわけが違う。お前さんは民の期待を背負った国王様だ。王様らしく王都に伝と構えとくって選択もあるぜ。
I just want to do what I can.
できることをしたいんだ。それが国王らしくないなら地位にこだわりはない。
ちょっと冗談でもやめて。
相変わらずの肝っ玉だな。ま、言いたいことはわかるぜ。マグラや人間ってのは国に渦巻く不安そのものだ。ってことはそれがどこにどんくらいあんのか目で見て回れるわけだ。不安と向き合えねえまんまじゃ人が上を向けねえ。人が上向かねえんじゃ国や社会が上向くはずもねえ。だから確かめたい。それが君主として一番にすべきことだ。
Damn
って
right.
とこか？
Even the most faraway future begins with a belief that it can be realized. So I'll press onward. That's the best I can do.
それならそう言ってよね。もう。
俺はいいと思うぜ。楽しそうだしな。てか、それでこそ俺の知ってる我らが王様ってもんだ。となりゃ宮廷技師の俺も音もするしかねえよな。王族専用の
Need
凱
some
旋車は
bodyguards
俺
too,
に
you
し
know.
か運転できねえしな。何せ国中のドラゴン征伐までやってのけた
Dragon
王様
Slayer
だ。
King.
ついていったら今度は何が見られんのかゾクゾクするぜ。 伝説の旅路再びってやつだ。おいお前ら、聞こえたか？
Hey,
王様
Wolf, get up.
勝手に話を進めるな。まったく。
城を出るならお声がけよとあれほど言ったでしょう。まったく。
ニューラス、あらかじめ呼んでたってこと？
話が早いだろ。てかなんだよ、6本槍なのに2本だけじゃねえか。
さすがに全員で払うわけにいくか。
お、その口ぶりだと止めねえってことか。
ヒュルケンベルグと話し合ってな。もしお前が行くと言い出したら、止めるより俺たちもついていこうと決めた。
Are you sure? Like you're not gonna leave the
ルイと
capital
の
in
最後の
disarray?
戦いを思い出してな。あの時国のみんなは俺たちの理念や言い分だけを応援してくれたわけじゃない。
Because we did.
今まさに頭上で怪物と戦っている。そんな姿を応援してくれたんだ。いつだって人は最後には体験や感情で物事を決める。正しくても仕組みが確かでも顔が見えない相手をいつまでも信じていられない。孤独を拭えない存在だ。
だから世界をもう一度見てこようって考えには反対しない。顔が見える王になるために必要なことだろ
My friends and allies believe as I do. Their support is the greatest treasure I could have.
しかしこのように新年早々とは困った陛下であらせられる。
全員集合とはいかなかったが、また一緒に行けて俺も嬉しい。
This is the OG party
けど
that we set out
本当
with.
に大丈夫なの？将軍と近衛隊長が揃ってついてきちゃって。
近衛が王に付き従うのはむしろ当然だ。それに私一人が不在なくらいでふぬける我が隊ではない。
なんとかしてみせるさ。信じて人に任せる。俺たち
Yeah,
こそ
they
が
can't
率先
just
し
put
てや
their
らなきゃ
burdens
な。
on one person. It's also a valid thing again, very thematic. You gotta think for yourself. Thank you.
みんなありがとう。なら出発だ。
OG crew on the
かの日、
travel.
私の声を聞き、答えたもうた人よ。
Alright, I have to advance this myself. Cheers for talking with us again more.
幻想とは、無力な作り物か？あの問いの答えは、きっと誰もが生きている限り、問われ続ける。
We seekers.
しかし、彼はきっと成し遂げるだろう。君が信じて導いてくれたおかげだ。
And thank you for playing my game.
未だ希望を失わぬ異教の住人に願い、導きを得ること。それこそが、我が王の魔法の真の姿。
That's all the names, right? Is like fervently, effectively contacting other planes. Basically.
君は求めに応え、希望を、すなわち幻想の力を見事示した。なんと恐れ知らずで、軽やかで、心躍る導きだったろう。ありがとう。
Not even flying.
この感じ、久しぶりだな。
ああ、王に当たる風が懐かしい。
柄にもなく詩人だな。
Oh, god damn it, people. When did you sneak up on board?
てかひどくない？置いていこうとするなんて。
まあ、
You were just
電
hiding?
話号ですぐ戻れるでしょってついてきた私たちも大きなことは言えませんが。
つうかよ、この子に新しい景色を見せてやりたかったしな。
Maria! Traveling with us, yay!
皮肉だな。王爵の消滅でマグラが整い、砂地に緑が戻るとは。
Because it was absorbing not just from the people, but from the whole land, huh?
行こう。
It does put a nice fucking bow on the desertification stuff, huh? All credits! So this was like 1:30, right? Minus any preamble. Let's say 1 hour. And if I minus like some other conversation, I feel like I could have yesterday maybe cut it down to 30 minutes. But like in a rushed way and not properly reading everything. So, you know, lots of designs. Hey, well, if I did it, I did it. We finished the first game of the year after 27 streams. Isn't it amazing? 27 streams and 1.5 months. 1 out of 20. Really not. I'm not gonna be able to finish 20 games in a year. Like, am I crazy? There's way too many JRPGs on that list. This is never gonna happen. I would need to take like a vacation. I like use all my vacation days just to stream all day, every day. To be able to beat all these JRPGs. Well, you know, do like stuff off stream, but then what's the point, right? I don't know. I'm not... Like, for some games, I did some stuff off stream. I guess. But most of the time, even when it comes to side questing, I'm not really doing that. Huh. Let me turn this music up. It's very quiet. Okay, meta for ReFantazio. Finalizing thoughts on the game. So first off, I think as I've many times iterated after the first couple of streams, the game has a lot of rough edges. And I think it's like largely because like, oh god, maybe this is too loud now. And it's definitely like fault of new IP, like time management, making new stuff, new assets everywhere, and so on. So I don't like. I can still fault the game because of that. I just understand why it is the way that it is. So I don't think this game is like, oh, this is now Atlus's newest and bestest title. I don't think I can say that with confidence. The combat system was very good. I think it took a lot of really good elements, both from mainline SMT, press turn, off like spin-off stuff, and Persona like presentation and so on. Though, again, still like some elements underdeveloped, like status effects, as so often. You're already in the best part of the game, the end credits. Yes. We're just having a post-game chit-chat. Howdy, wizards. What was I? Oh, it's Academia music. Cute. A bit loud, though. So, I can definitely, again, see, like, Atlus always improves their combat systems, I feel like. So, going forward, for, like, any future Atlus JRPGs, be it Persona 6, or any further SMTs or spin-offs, or if they decide to continue this as an IP, I'm not sure if they would, A, want to, and B, what it would look like, and C, if it would be satisfying in any way. But the archetype thing is cool, right? Archetype stuff is cool, and they could refine that and so on. They could definitely improve on that. Story? Again, character-wise, actually a bit weaker, I think, because they didn't get like a lot of limelight. The follower stuff was a bit more concentrated, and some of them were, you know, a bit generic or predictable at times. But I can't say that the story was generic or predictable, honestly. I first thought, when I first started, I thought it was gonna be like very, oh, we're gonna do like hit some story beats and so on. Oh, like, oh, Grias died, and then we like, now we go on this road trip journey, we do this thing step by step by step. And then it surprised me again and again at like every location about what the actual beats were gonna be, what the twists were gonna be. Still managed to call quite a few, and I'm still so giddy that I predicted the two like major things in the end game, right? Well, I say predicted. One was more of a joke prediction. The other one was a definite prediction. When did I say it? Did I say it? I think I said it in Etria. No. Yes. No. No, I think I said it in Altabury. The whole, like, Prince thing. Once like, that plot thread, like, started unraveling of, like, Rella being the true culprit, Louis dying, faking his death, so on, so on, so on. The curse lifting. Or rather, before the curse lifting. I called out the We Are the Prince. And I'm really happy you got the... Oh, Greg Chen did it in the English narration. And then, of course, Moore being our dad. And then the mysterious voice being our mom. I mean, that one was a gimme. That one was a gimme. Yeah. Favorite character is probably Hezame. I think. Yeah. Yeah. And credits were sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. I don't think so. I'm not getting money from those guys. Apparently I could, but I'm not going to. Even a no-name like me could get sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Let that sink in. They've got just like open like stuff, and then you just set your own goals or whatever. How was I? Still ranking really highly. Again, also just, you know, the Etreat Odyssey dungeon is pure fan service directed directly at me. So, you know, I have to say that this game is good. I'm obligated to. They pandered directly to me. That was so good. That was so well designed. It was so well designed, I mean, so well copied designed, right? Because they copied it so fucking accurately. Actually crazy. Even down to some, like, treasure placements and stuff. So that was cool. Big detractors. Too few dungeons. Like, real dungeons. Of course, you have like the different types of side dungeons, but I mean those were kind of lame for the most part. But I mean, obviously the Etrian dungeon is amazing. The cathedral was really cool as a first dungeon. Take the bag and run. The bag would not even be worth my time putting in there. Just not. If you're a big streamer person, for sure, take the bag and do it, right? Like, fuck it. I participated in a streamer's Raid Shadow Legends promotion Like, as in, like, do the thing where, like, oh, make a new account from the referral link. Like, get up to level 10 or whatever. Spend at least $1 for a streamer person, because I knew they were getting, like, way more for that than I'm investing in it. So effectively, me spending $1 gave them a lot more money. Wait, what was I? The true seeker, Nolano. Here, you see an image of me. That's me.
遠き異教の人よ。
Whole channels take 100.
君にとってこの旅はきっと幻に過ぎぬもの。だが、どうかこの幻の旅の記憶が君の現実においても輝ける希望とならんことを。
Right, speaking of that, the themes of the game, right? I think executed sometimes a bit with a sledgehammer, but I'm not gonna say like fairly unique, but like a slightly more nuanced presentation than a lot of other like games or stories would do with it, frankly. Like, I say a bit more nuanced, a lot more nuanced than others would do, I feel like, showing a lot more stuff. I talked about this a couple of times, but this game is woke, right? This game in its truest sense is like trying to be woke from the monarchy perspective, showing like democracy in different facets of extremism. Like I just want to imagine some dumbass out there going like, oh, this JRPG isn't political, because there's 100% gonna be like some post about like, oh, this is like a hero's journey. Like, no, this game is so fucking on the nose with its political themes. It's really funny. And then, of course, the other side of the coin, aside from that, the themes of fantasy and make believe, going into the future. Lana's gonna get cancelled. Heck, I wish. That would mean there would be enough people that would hate me to get me cancelled. I see that as a success story.
幻想が君の力とならんことを。
Oh shit, I cut him off. No! I accidentally pressed the button. Ah! Is that just the Chiratrius having fallen from the sky?
見ろよ。残骸が今や観光名所だ。
未知の景色に変わっていくな。
見に行きましょう。どこまでも。
新たな旅立ちか。太古、人は栄華を極めながらも滅んだ。私はそれを知り、目指す理想を書に表した。幻想の物語。それを信じた彼らによって王国は息を吹き返した。
未知なるものを信じる力こそが全てを変えていく。この先もあらゆる困難が待ち受けるでしょう。
Cheers, Mom and Dad.
でも精一杯歩みなさい。恐れず未知なる世界へと。
Honestly, the end with more almost had me with the like thinking, oh, are they gonna make it a meta twist? No, they're gonna play it straight actually. Fantasy lives on. You'll have to play this game. It's a very nice game. And if you aren't like me, you will actually finish this in a timely fashion. Also, this was fairly reasonable to get, like, all side quests, all confidants. Like, at the end I had, like, what, 15 days of twiddling my thumbs, effectively? 15 to 20 could have had even more effectiveness if you like don't do the Colosseum at all. Save a day at the start. What else could you save? Not much though. I was being really effective with my time, I feel like. So, I mean, 15 days, that's still like 30 slots of like you can do whatever the fuck you want. Sounds reasonable to me. By saving your clear data, blah, blah, blah. Currently owned items, money, mag, royal virtues, scanned enemies, memorandum, archetype statuses, and total playtime. What does it mean, archetype statuses? Sure, save clear data. What I do have to say though, what I don't like about this system as like a completionist, or rather as completionist versus casualness, is the fact that effectively if you don't play well, like time your stuff decently, like again, I didn't plan anything out in this game, which for like a previous Persona game before Persona 5, like even in Persona 5 normal, Persona 5 Royale less, Persona 5 normal, you definitely need to plan out more things. Especially in P3 and P4, you need to work in advance. For this game, just day by day, as long as you don't waste time, you're good. As long as you either get a follower rank or get any stat up or do any dungeon, you're basically golden. But if you do fuck up, it does lock you out of royal archetypes, right? Because you need tier 3 things that you only get on rank 8s to unlock a royal archetype. Again, you don't need the royal archetypes because the endgame wasn't that hard. But it does lock you out of a gameplay thing, majorly too. Which you might also say, actually, that's fine. That's a good thing, right? I want to be rewarded for doing all this. Got time your toilet days. Always go to toilet on Sundays. It's like going to church, just for toilets. $132 hours. There you go. Ah. Cool. Can I switch to the support difficulty if I were to load this? Does it just load credits? Oh no, this is the start of the game. Right. The toilet strap. You can get so many setups. Right? Like, you can get roughly 15 luck with this, probably just from toilets. You can. Regicide here now. Yeah. I see. By the way, if you're new here and didn't know, I will never touch this game again. I am not a person to replay things or New Game Plus things. I dislike New Game Plus for most things greatly. So it's cool that these features exist, but I will never touch this game again. How did these guys get a Gauntlet Runner? That's crazy. I guess it's like a tiny Gauntlet Runner. Also, I want to say Hulkenberg in this cutscene is like way different than in future cutscenes. which I think mostly stems from. Oh no, it's a full ass. Well, it's still a small part. From like her personality, also like right now she's very downtrodden, right? But she's still chilling. We in the desert. We've got a mission, except that we don't know. Time for. Time for. Gallica. 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 Is it not music time yet? Oh, the music time is the next section, right? This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Alright, the menu in this just looks like this at the start, huh? Oh god. I can... Get him! So silent. There we go. I just wanted to get the music wrong. Ugh. It's still crazy that like this section of the game never really gets used again. Like sure, there's like the Tradia Desert, like one thing for the first bounty or whatever, but okay, anybody got any questions that they want my opinion on for this game? No, I think I talked about everything I wanted to talk, really. Definitely a very strong game for the year. Recommend this game to most people that like JRPGs that are not afraid of the calendar. Actually, even if you are afraid of the calendar, give it a shot. Very cool. Again, I really like the stuff they did with the combat system. Like it's some small things. Like for example, buffs. SMT, I think they stack infinitely. At least Nocturne, which I played. I'm pretty sure Teeny is already convinced. At least it sounded like it. That she will someday want to play this. At least she was like, oh, I'm not gonna spoil myself on this game. At least that. Counter say sleep paralysis demon. It's not that bad, Whoa. It's not that bad. Time consuming, it is time consuming. Just don't be like me. So I'm a very bad role model when it comes to how much time I spend in a game, right? Again, 132 hours. How long to beat says 65 to 80. If you are not reading out every unvoiced part out loud and talking with every person in every city all the time, or strategy theorizing like, oh man, I need to like do this and that and this and that in like 50 hours, you're good. You're good. Because a lot of long is still unfinished. Did she ever finish Ni no Kuni? Wait, she did play Ni no Kuni, right? I feel like I remember watching Ni no Kuni when she played it. Did she finish that? Where was I? Combat, right. Stuff like the buffs being like triple stacks up and down. I think that's really good and healthy. They're not quite as powerful as in Persona, where it's like a 50% buff. One, like you use it once and it's huge. It has more nuance without going to the ultra extremes, and you can still feel pretty OP. Facilio was a monster, was a beast. Not a lot of endgame challenges, I guess. And there's probably like a super boss again, but only in New Game Plus. The final bosses were decent, but still very beatable for me, who was decently leveled with max royal archetypes, right? And like, not optimized, but for me, good loadouts. You can do a lot of stuff in there, and I played it hard. Yeah, I think the strongest part, even though still gameplay and story, characters a bit weaker, some like smaller elements not quite as smooth as like in Persona games, where they just have more experience doing that stuff, and more time and polish and stuff like that. Also, apparently, I have a 97% memorandum. So I'm missing something. Don't know what. If you haven't, by the way, I've got a poll for this year running. Metaphor ReFantazio was the first of 20 games in this poll. And I don't think I will be able to play all 20 games in there this year, considering that this took me forever and that there are so many JRPGs on there. But I am working my way down that list. If you haven't already, please feel free to vote on the poll. I'm still looking at it when making new choices. Obviously now Metaphor ReFantazio's rating is irrelevant. I will not do them like strictly top to bottom, but I will orient myself on this list. Right now we just finished a giant JRPG, so I am probably not going to play Pokemon because Pokemon is a JRPG. Some people need to hear that. Unicorn Overlord, I think Wolf can weigh in more than that, but to me, Unicorn Overlord sounds like a strategy JRPG in the vein of like Fire Emblem. So probably not there. Gonna take longer to the poll than you took to read all this ticket style. I say, pick games you know, or games that sound interesting, and ride with that. Here on Twitch, I have like a highlight where we watched all the trailers. Yeah, Unicorn is also just really long, probably too. So I think what is going to happen is that this Friday I will start 9 Souls. 9 Souls being action-oriented, 2D platformer with like some Sekiro parrying shenanigans, I think, some Metroidvania shenanigans. So I think that is next on the docket. And then after that, I could be like, okay, let's do another JRPG again or something of the sort. And then maybe it's Pokemon. Currently Pokemon is ranking next. I haven't played a Pokemon game in a while. Pokemon, in this case, would entail probably a Nolano lock again, but with different rules. I don't know if I want to do a full-on Nuzlocke rule set in my Nolano lock again, or if I'm adjusting stuff. Yeah, the Crab's Treasure is on there, right? This would be also like a nice action break in between. But then, I mean, come on, you got fucking Pokemon, Unicorn Overlord, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Tales of Zestria, right? Those currently being like in the top list here for the JRPG crowd. Whew. Ugh. Now I'm like struggling to think, can I play even those 4 games in 1 year? But yeah, 9 Souls, and then maybe something from the top of the list again, and then another Crab's Treasure, then back to the top with another JRPG, Animal Well, Messenger. Maybe you can slot in something shorter. I don't know how short like some of these games are. Like Dragon Ishin would be a nice thing. For now, I do think I want to focus on still, just like with Metaphor now, just doing 1 game 3 times a week. To just stick in there and make my life a bit easier, not having to switch between stuff all the time. Animal Well should be easy. Interesting. I don't know much about it other than it's like a very like it's like Rain World but more Metroidvania is what I've like gathered. So hopefully I will take to it more. Yeah. Could like look up some stuff like I want to be animal well. Oh, you hear stuff in the background, by the way, still, because background input whenever I type. Oh, it's not that long. Well, like, again, always gotta click main and sides ×2, or completionist is, like, my roundabout estimation. So I'm gonna guess, like, 14 hours. 15 hours, maybe, for me to play that. Huh, but yeah, didn't know it was so short. Could do that in like a weekend, I guess. It could be something. Certainly would shore up some time I lost to Metaphor. Elden Ring at the very bottom. Nobody wants more Elden Ring. Everybody's already Elden Ringed out. Though I will say that, like, when I do replay Elden Ring eventually, and that eventually also do the DLC, at least for the main game, I think I'm not gonna, because I bought it on PC now, so I'm gonna play it anew, but probably do less side stuff. I kind of want to do like a playthrough where I do mainly the main dungeons. And like think about how difficult that might be when you don't level up outside and like got all the other shit done. Just focus on like the main dungeons. Maybe some interesting locales, some unique locales, but not the billions of mini dungeons that the game has. Millions of mini dungeons and recycled bosses. I still can't believe Kingdom Hearts is higher than Frostpunk 2 though. Like, come on. Jiffy's gonna take so much time, you completely forget everything you remember about Elden Ring. Yeah? Nah, I got good muscle memory in Souls games. Decent enough at least. I played Sekiro one delirious night at 3 AM and got to phase 3 of Ishin a couple times. Yeah. I think that's it. This track, probably the best track in the game, Traversing the Waste. So the callback at the end was very good, though, even though I did find it a shame that we didn't get to hear this track more often. It is definitely a highlight track of this game. Super strong start that we never got to hear again. Though, so speaking of music, actually, okay, one last commentary, because I've talked about gameplay and story and characters and the UI stuff and other elements. Music. Despite Shoji Meguro being on it, not every track is a banger for sure. But neither is it really always in well, no, in Persona almost every track is a banger. There were some like more mediocre and weak ones in this. Almost every track that has like a singer or chanting is good. Really elevates it into like the uniqueness of this soundtrack, where some others are a lot more generic, right? Generic dumb stuff. Traversing the Waste being really good. The standard battle theme is amazing, so is the ambush theme, which we hear more often. The boss fight musics were rather forgettable, honestly. For the most part. And some of the dungeon music was okay, but also not like outstanding. And then the final dungeon, fucking Tyrant Star just having the archetype learning thing was really lame. That was just a straight up nosedive in terms of music quality. Final boss music was okay. There you go. That's my overall ratings of the music. Best town theme, Etrio. This is just a fun theme. It's just a right? Okay. That will be all for today. As a bonus stream, still took like 2 hours to chit and chat and do the epilogue. That's how it is. Time to uninstall this game. We will see each other back on Friday. Hopefully I will remember to make a thumbnail. What do I do for 9 Souls? If I can find the font, the easiest thing. Nolano Souls. Null Souls. Plaster my face on the little guy. I don't know. I'll see. Or just be lazy and just Nolano plays 9 Souls. Depending on how much time I have until Friday. Okay. Cheers for hanging out during this bonus epilogue stream. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, evening, night, morning, afternoon, or whatever time of day it is for you. And I hope to see you around. Have a good one. Peace.